Paint the picture for us about what's happening in the federal government right now.
Well, it turns out that the government is shut down, Will.
It's shut down.
Well, let's do some facts real quick for everybody. This will help. So the government being shut down is basically, which is what's happening right now. And we're on day 29. The government Congress, the House and the Senate, is in charge of 25% of all government budget, basically, and it's called discretionary spending. They split that into 12 different bills that must be passed by the House and the Senate by October 1st for the fiscal year.
For the fiscal year. Because the government's fiscal year, go figure, runs from October through September, right?
That's known as a regular appropriation. If that gets passed and there's no CR, okay?
Okay. A CR. What's a CR? What's a CR?
Talk about CR, right?
Yeah.
CR is a continuing resolution, okay? So let me tell you what that covers. Here's what a continuing resolution covers, and I'll tell you how many we've had, how normal they are, how abnormal they might be, that kind of thing. We're going to go through that pretty quickly here. So coverage, that's the first thing that a CR covers generally. So a continuing resolution, it's called coverage. That's agencies, projects, activities that will continue under the current budget. So that would be the budget from the past year. They continue it on because technically they pass a budget with the president as of the 31st of December and January when it hits, but the fiscal year ends end of September, beginning of October. So that's the first thing, coverage. Number two, there's three things. Number two is durations. That's the time frame of the above coverages. So if a CR, like a continuing resolution, is less than a year, they usually still kind of go by the duration annually. So say it's right now, SNAP is a big thing. It would still continue on for another year would be the continuing resolution. They won't just do it for like 12 days.
Got it.
That kind of thing.
Okay.
They try not to, and it doesn't mean they won't. They try not to. And then finally, number three, for a continuing resolution, generally, you have a rate of operation. So a rate at which the above can spend their funds annually, whether that's paying the air traffic controllers. Are we still paying them on their regular pay schedule, or are we divvying that up because we're only doing it for the next 3 months?
Okay.
And we're going to prorate it, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So it doesn't. So that's a continuing resolution. That's what we do. Okay, that's kind of what we do in the United States of America.
To be fair,
it's not an annual budget. It's not a negotiation process. Since 1974, there's been over 146 continuing resolutions.
What do you know when
from 16 days to 261 days? The last one being in 2018 for 35 days.
So when was the last time that you are aware of that we had a functioning budget? Because the way it's supposed to work, and I'm going back to my civics lesson here, is the way it's supposed to work is the president proposes a budget, negotiates with the House first, and they pass a bill. Then it gets passed. They pass a budget, and a budget consists of a lot of different bills, whatever, right?
All right. For the sake of time in this video, let me stop you.
Yeah. Okay.
Up until 1974, Richard Nixon, that is the way it worked. Now it works. The Congress does the budget, and they take it to the president, and he signs off on it.
Okay, that feels.
So it used to be the president was in charge of everything. Now the Congress is in charge of everything because Tricky Dick was kind of shady.
No.
I know. So Congress kind of they put a new bill forward, and I can't remember the name of the bill. I'll remember before the end of the video. Basically saying, hey, Congress is now that, hence the power of the purse.
Got it.
For Congress.
Right.
So now that's saying they're in charge, which makes it more difficult because now we got a whole bunch of people and a whole bunch of committees. And instead of just signing off on it, they have to make the budget instead. And now the president signs off on that budget. So a couple things real quick before you keep going on. There's an average of 5 CRs enacted and in process in any given fiscal year during an annual year in the United States. So 4 months of your average year is based on a CR, not a budget.
Right. And that's
so to answer your question,
historically speaking.
When's that's the average. When's the last time we had one? We generally have one. It's just for like about half a year.
Okay.
And then they're working off of CR. It's really just a kicking of the can down the road. It's not a negotiation process. It's a process of saying, hey, everything we got going, we're going to keep going.
Right.
When we get to end of fiscal year.
Right.
Now they can do that for 15 days. They've done that for 16 days before. And then another one for 30 days. So when I say there's 5 a year, it can get confusing because you're like, well, the fiscal year ends end of September. And then you said the budget has to come by January. Well, that's if they're short continuing resolutions.
Right.
They just keep piling up on each
On
other
top of each
so
other.
that we keep things like the benefits and payment to federal workers and things of that nature going.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
So since 1974, there have been 138 continuing resolutions.
That feels like a lot.
It does feel like a lot. But you know what? Government's complex.
I get that. I understand that. All right. So we basically right now Congress failed to pass a continuing resolution to keep the lights on.
Right. The House, it's passed the House.
It's passed
the
House.
It has not passed the Senate.
Okay, thank you. The reason I'm asking this is because it's happening in the world. All of this is going on.
Right. And it's generally not noticed until you get to something like food benefits.
Yeah, and you know, fun fact, I knew it was happening. I heard in the background it was happening. I have no idea why it's happening. I mean, I know why it's happening, right? Basically, the why it's happening is because one party wants something in the bill that the other party, in the continuing resolution, that the other party doesn't want, and therefore somebody's taking their ball and going home. I don't know who is taking the ball. I don't even know whose ball it is, but that is essentially what's happening. Is that fair?
That's fair. Let me give you a good example of that. An article from the Harvard Review, okay? That was done in the beginning of October. And they quoted Linda Bilmes. I hope it's not Baums. If I'm Bilmes, it's Bilmes. Now, she is the Daniel Patrick Moynihan Senior Lecturer in Public Policy and Public Finance. She was Chief Financial Officer of the U.S. Department of Commerce under President Bill Clinton.
So it's fair to say she could be regarded as a subject matter expert.
I would go with expert.
And let me pause you just for a second here. I'm not approaching this as a Democrat. I'm not approaching this as a Republican. I'm not approaching this as a liberal. I'm not approaching this as a conservative. I'm approaching this as a moron.
Yeah, I'm kind of just approaching it as a fact finder.
Yeah.
So here's what she said in that Harvard article. Most shutdowns happen because of budget disagreements, but the current one is different. Republicans control a trifecta, the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Democrats are drawing a line to protect some core programs that were enacted under prior Democratic leadership.
They're the ones who are holding it up. And their stance is they're holding it up because they don't want to lose certain benefits.
They're negotiating.
Yeah, okay.
Which is really, again, not what a CR is for. It's to continue what's happening in the budget.
Right.
But that's okay. They have no power right now, so they're using this to negotiate. Okay? So if that's what they want to do, that's what they're going to do. We voted for them. That's what we voted for, everybody.
Yeah.
So in the Senate, there's 53 Republicans. That's a majority, but you need 60 to pass a continuing resolution.
Right.
So they have 55 votes. So they're missing 5 votes. And that includes 2 Republicans who have not voted for it. So all Republicans have voted except for 2 for it. No Democrats, except for 2, I think, or maybe 3 or 4, I can't remember what the number is, have voted to continue on the resolution, just doing the math there. And why, the question is, why are the Democrats doing this?
Okay, yeah.
It's come up to vote 13 times in 29 days.
Yeah.
And they've said no. And here's what's being asked for by Chuck Schumer. And by that I mean Chuck Schumer because he's the actual voice that asks for these things.
Yeah, he's the voice of the party.
Speaker.
He's the ranking he's the ranking Democrat on the Senate.
Right. So in the bill that they're proposing, adds in the continuing resolution, they're adding $1.5 trillion in spending to the bill.
They're adding it. So it's not a continuing resolution. It's a continuing resolution and then some.
Plus $1.5 trillion that the Democrats are asking for in this continuing resolution. That includes numerous items that, again, aren't normally negotiated for, just to keep the government open. So a couple of those items include health care for all illegal aliens paid for by the American taxpayer. That's not legal. It's never been part of the United States. They want that as part of the continuing resolution. Reinstitution of numerous USAID items that were cut by DOGE, including LGBTQ education for third world countries. I'm just throwing out some things they're asking for.
I am simply listening.
Yeah, they're also cutting many of the items from the big, beautiful bill that Trump passed.
I saw this. Okay, I got to tell you, I do have to tell you, this is just a sidebar on this. I saw it referred to in all caps and abbreviated as one big beautiful bill. OBBB. That is how.
Oh, he actually named it that.
I really have to start reading the newspaper more.
So anyway, they didn't like stuff in there, so they want to cut some stuff from there, a few $1 billion. So here's why the government shut down. The Republicans have the trifecta, as said by our expert. They have all the power. The only thing the Democrats can do here is withhold their votes to continue on the government as it is and continue negotiating for the annual budget. So they've decided they're going to use the continuing resolution as a negotiation point.
I mean, I'm not coming at this from a Democratic angle. I'm not coming at it from a Republican angle. This feels dumb.
Dumb. Yeah. No, it's it's interesting. It's opened up my eyes to quite a few things. Those are the facts. That's what's going on.
Well, and so, but to be fair, the reason this is not the first time this has happened. It's happened before.
No, it's happened many times.
And I mean, these shutdowns happen every few years, it seems like, which is why
shutdowns happen.
Which is why we're not noticing it.
So they happen pretty rarely.
Okay, that's fair.
Almost shutdowns happen all the time.
Okay, so maybe that's what I'm referencing is happening like enough to make me insensitive to this.
There's a lot of, at midnight, they voted to continue the resolution. There's a lot of that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. There's a
lot. That's why it seems like a big deal. Now, this one is hitting home because people eat food.
People like food.
Based on government spending, taxpayer dollars. These are people that are in need. Some of them. Those are the ones we'll talk about. And they're not getting their food. Now, some states, like I live in Virginia, Virginia's opened up some of their coffers, and they're now subsidizing some of those SNAP benefits for the next month while they try to work a negotiation and get this thing done. But this is turned, so just to kind of, not to end this, because this is a discussion.
Right.
But I would say if you're looking for facts, there are your facts.
Well, I think that's important. And I mean, I think when I come down to the conversation around when I hear this and when I hear that we're shut down for 29 days, that we are now reaching the point, and as I understand it, we are now reaching the point where this is impacting beyond government employees, right? This is now reaching the point where, as
air
you just
traffic
pointed
controllers are not getting paid. Military, believe it or not, Trump had a private investor is paying the military.
Wow.
Kind of like he's doing with the ballroom thing, private investor. There are pros and cons to that. That's kind of shady, but it's also kind of awesome. So it depends on how you land on that. Again, these are just facts. These are
I'm not judging any of this because I don't have the basis to judge it. I don't know.
Based on past shutdowns. Again, the last one was in 2018. The actual shutdowns, not almost shutdowns, but actual shutdowns. Everybody gets paid and prorated what they were gonna make when this all goes through. Now, does that help if your landlord says I need it on the 1st? And if not, I'm kicking you out.
Well,
that's what your lease says. The lease says you get 5 days. After 5 days, I call the sheriff.
Yeah. Well, and let me tell
doesn't
you,
help them.
Let me tell
doesn't
you, man,
help people who can't. And guess what? SNAP benefits to be gone the month of Thanksgiving.
I mean, a little insult to injury on that one.
Yeah.
So this is where I stand on this. Like, having seen that the Democrats are doing it this time, and having seen that Republicans have done it in the past and everything, I'm not judging this one way or the other, except to say this is fucking stupid. And right now, the Democrats are the owners of the stupid. Previously,
Democrats were in control under Biden, and I believe there were 13 straight continuing resolutions that the Republicans passed.
Yeah.
Like saying, okay, let's just keep going. We'll figure it out. Like we'll figure out the budget in a year. We got to keep the government going.
Whoever does this is dumb. This is a stupid political problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care who it is. It's stupid.
There are very firm reasons why people think it is happening, which I've heard on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, ABC, NBC, CBS, which is Chuck Schumer and some of the kind of middle Democrats who aren't super left, who aren't
moderates. Are we calling them
the
moderates
moderates?
now?
That's a
Okay.
perfect example. Are being held hostage by the big lefties who are saying you haven't fought Trump on anything. If you don't fight him on this bill, on this continuing resolution, which is the only power negotiation point we have currently till next year's midterms, then we are going to run against all of you in primaries. Like AOC has threatened to run against Schumer in the primary.
I'd love that to happen. As a liberal, I'd love that to happen. And I'm not saying that as a supporter of AOC. I'm saying that as not a supporter of Chuck Schumer. I'm saying that as like, I want to see those two. Like, if something good can come out of this, let it be that one twit versus another twit and a twit off.
Yeah, they're turning on each other right now.
I think that's great.
It's interesting because I think that, they're like, well, Republicans won't pass. Well, the beauty of what the Republicans are doing is they obviously know they have the power here, and they know that this looks bad for Democrats, and they just keep bringing it up for vote. They're like, hey, look, we're not negotiating. It's up for vote. Well, we can get all the SNAP benefits. We can get all that if we just continue the budget that we had that was made under Biden.
and that's the thing is like, that's why my response to that is to simply say, this is a stupid problem. And
I haven't done that.
Like, there's no defending it. I'm sorry. There's absolutely no defending it.
Like, not.
If you want to posture and do a shutdown for 2 weeks or whatever, and the people who are impacted are air traffic control and federal employees. I mean, no offense, you take that job knowing that a shutdown is possible and you could be impacted by it. That sucks. That's terrible. I'm not gonna say that it's a good thing, but I'm saying like it's a known. When you start fucking with actual people's food,
yeah,
like more than just an employee not getting paid for a couple of weeks, which is shitty. Right. Don't get me wrong, that is shitty. But when you actually start taking away people's food, it kind of undermines all of the principles of humanism that a lot of liberal belief is built on.
Right.
And sometimes a lot of liberal belief is built on pragmatism. A lot of belief is built on, and I'm using the word belief intentionally here, right?
Yeah.
It's built on pragmatism. It's built on doing the right thing. It's built on making a compromise to get to a good result. It's about doing good. Belief, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I agree, dude.
So I wanted to have this conversation because I wasn't sure what the hell was going on with it. And I trust you because I know what you're telling me is factual because I know who you are. I'm not watching fucking Drudge Report, and I'm not watching Fox News, and I'm not listening to any talking head tell me what to think. I'm telling you based on the fact that we are 30 days into a shutdown over anything is irresponsible. And for anybody to fight in the party like this, I think is excellent. And if this causes the Democratic Party to melt down and reform and become something better, then that's awesome because the Democratic Party, this isn't a liberal problem to me. This isn't this isn't a conservative problem to me. This is a Democrat versus Republican problem to me. And it's bullshit.
Yeah, I think that's a well said speech that I think more Democrats probably need to hear. And keep in mind, everybody, the information you're getting, like I said, this is generally how things work. Doesn't mean you can't say, in 1982, the Republicans held up for 3 days. I understand.
Well, okay, you know what? When that happened too, that was a stupid fucking problem to have. That was a stupid...
Right, and I just made that up. But I'm saying, like, you can always come up with exceptions to rules. The problem Democrats have here is a lot of what they want that conservatives don't always want is I'm cool spending money for people who need food, okay?
Yeah.
For a year. Yeah. Or if you're disabled. But there are people that have been on generational food stamps or SNAP benefits.
Sure.
And some of this information is now coming to light. For instance, I have two questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
Take one guess out of roughly 300 million people, how many people in the United States use the SNAP benefits?
3 out of 300 million?
out of the 300 million people. Yeah.
I mean, I bet the number's higher than I suspect, but I'm going to throw a spitball number of like 25 million.
42 to 45 million people are on SNAP.
Okay.
Do that many people need to be on SNAP? I'm guessing no.
Probably
so that's one of the things you look at.
Yeah, I'm not
Now,
going to argue that one way or another because I don't know.
What percentage of SNAP benefits are people who are here illegally?
I have no idea.
70%.
70%. Now, I'm not going to see. I'm going to tell you this, right? If you couch that as some sort of refugee assistance or something like that, call it what it is, but don't call it SNAP. I mean,
right. Or you know what? I'll give you, of that 70%, I'll give you 50% that are refugees.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. That leaves 35%.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I'm not, and I'm not here to argue whether SNAP's good or whether SNAP is bad or whether most of the people on it are good or bad or whatever. But if we're talking, because we're not talking about that, we're talking about simply continuing to run the government as it has been run for a few more months.
Past the facts point of this, we're on to the like, Democrats are trying to blame Republicans. Republicans are trying to blame Democrats. It's going poorly for Democrats. They're getting blamed by the media now. Even they're getting blamed by you, who's a liberal. They're getting blamed, and some of the stuff that they run on is coming to light. Where it's like, whoa, 70 million, and you go, whoa, 40 million. Wait, what's going on?
Yeah,
we need to look at that again.
Well, and so if stuff like that comes out of this, that's even better because, as a liberal, I do believe that there should be a safety net. And if you live in this country and if you are here in this country, we are the wealthiest country in the world. We can figure shit out, right? But if we're disguising it and we're hiding it and we're not calling it what it is, that is some serious, serious bullshit. And that's regardless of party. That's regardless of what your belief structure is. But if you are sliding this in as something it's not, and you are helping people in a way that is misrepresentative, that's some serious bullshit. And if something good comes out of this that's like that, that's fine. But regardless, it's flipping irresponsible to not run the government when you are supposed to run the government. I don't stop my business because I'm negotiating with my landlord.
I agree. Guys, that's Will. He's your typical liberal. I'm Dirk. I'm your typical conservative. I hope you had a good day. This has been a special report from the Dirk and Will channel.